Now today we'll be assembling this Craftsman 10-inch 15 amp table saw. So now we'll build the stand first. You just have this lower leg that slips in like so, and just line up the holes. Grab the other lower leg. And you do this twice, okay? So this is the first one, and then I have another one right now that we'll do. Now you'll notice that one end is longer than the other end. So you want the longer end on the bottom, and then the shorter end on top. Now the kit does include 2 fasteners to make this happen. Now this is a 6mm, so make sure you do have a 6mm Allen key, and the hex nut or the hex bolt is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use a socket and a ratchet, and this is what it looks like when it's set up. So you'll notice on the bracket there's a little notch. That little notch goes right here into this guy, and right here is where that hex nut goes through. Now it may be a little tricky just lining everything up. So again, you have this little notch, insert it in the top hole like so. Okay, this goes through here. We have another one right here. That's it. And then we'll tighten this down. Again, this is a 1/2 inch, and the hex is 6mm. Okay, now we're going to lift up the saw and place it on the stand. Now if you don't want to use the stand, they do include these pre-drilled holes in the frame, but nonetheless just make sure you're careful because it is quite heavy. Okay. And then we're going to use the carriage bolts. There are 4 of them, and the wing nuts. Now I need to adjust the riving knife. That's so I can install a couple of accessories such as the anti-kickback poles and the blade guard if you're doing through cuts. So right here you have a table insert, and it's locked into place. You just turn it like so. Now we need to move the blade up, and that's just by turning this handle. As you can see, other thing to make note is make sure that it's locked in place. So this is how you change the angle of the blade, of course, but you just want to turn this clockwise to lock into place. Okay. Now this is the riving knife, and again I need to install a couple of things, and I need to raise this out of the housing. So right here is a lever. I'm just turning this lever clockwise, okay, like so, and then there's a little spring on here, so you can hear it click into place. So this is the position I want. If you were doing dado cuts, for example, it would be the lowest position. So it all depends what you're looking to do. But for through cuts, you want it to the highest position. Place this lever back down. And then I'm just reinstalling the insert and locking it in place. Now on the riving fence, you have an insert right here. That's for the anti-kickback poles. So you just pull the pin out, line up until you find that opening. There we go. And the blade guard is easy enough. Same deal. Pull back on the tab. The pin goes here, and then this notch and the guard fits right in here. So something like this. This comes down, and that's it. So make sure these guys move nice and freely. Cool. It's pretty cool. You can actually place all of the accessories that's built in to the saw. So for example, if you wanted to use the miter gauge, let's come out here. Cool. Easy enough to use. Let's test it out. So it cuts perfectly well, as you would expect. And also, lastly, it does include an exhaust port back here. The diameter is 2.5 inches, so a shop vac. It does not include a bag, unfortunately, a dust bag, but I hope this gives you a pretty good idea if you're thinking about purchasing this saw.